Appreciate everybody coming. First thing you want to do is congratulate our soccer team. Going to the NCAAs, that's fabulous. Congratulations to those young ladies. And to Nikki, what a great job that she has done. Football, we didn't win this one, but I saw a lot of improvement offensively. We started the game with Sam at quarterback, Glaceman, and tragically he did throw an interception early, and we replaced him with Miklo, and Miklo Smalls really, I thought, sparked us. But we had 236 yards rushing and 227 passing. And, Miklo was very accurate in his throwing, but he also had an interception that was a pick six, and that's been an Achilles heel for us over there. We're just got to keep working with those guys, and they're going to continue to grow, and they're going to be great quarterbacks. Just hard on when you're a young freshman to make all the right decisions. I thought our offensive line is really performing well. I think Joe Dill has had enough game experience now that Trey is really starting to trust him, and they're passing their blocks. It's a lot smoother in the transition with him going up to the linebackers. That was excellent to see. We had one sack on the game, but it wasn't on the offensive line. And it's the offensive line now has given up the fewest sacks that it has in 8 years, so they're playing well. Austin Walters had another big game for us, and he's having to split time right now at running back and slot, just where we are with the injuries at the running back. So he's doing double duty, and he had that huge explosive run for us, 70-yarder. He's one of 5 in the country. He's got a 70-yard run, a 70-yard reception. He continues to improve every week, and we really have to watch what we do with him at practice and monitor his reps, because we're asking him to do so much right now. Miklo and Nishan and Austin, they each average over 8 yards a carry, but the one I'm the most impressed with, who continues to get better every game, is Aaron Cephas. Aaron had 4 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. Tragically, he had 3 more receptions for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. One was called back for procedure penalty, and the others were called back for holding penalty. So it was one of the greatest receiving days in Rice history. Just got to quit making those mistakes, and Aaron is here to visit with you. Another thing we got to do is we grow this quarterback up right before halftime. We run out of time on the 8-yard line, which was 7 more points, where you talk to him about you don't take a sack, get out of bounds, throw it away. And he, at times Miklo was so good in high school. He's still reverting back to some of those dynamic plays he made in high school, and you can't do that in college. He had an opportunity to throw it away, had an opportunity to get out of bounds, and he tucked it up, tried to put on a move, and tried to get in the end zone. And then, that started at 19 seconds, then we didn't have enough time to clock the ball. So, like I said, he'll continue to get better. Defensively, we didn't stop the run in the first half. They had 197 yards rushing at halftime, fit the run great in the second half. There's no long passes down the field. Most of them were screens or 3-step. We're just not getting any turnovers. This is 2 games in a row we haven't had any turnovers, and that's got to be a part of it. We continue to emphasize it. We'll continue to work all the strip drills and the punch drills. And, it's hard to have as many sacks and tackles for losses that we do and not have any fumbles. It just, usually when you're getting those, you're getting the ball out on the ground. So, the defense was solid, but I didn't think it was anywhere near one of their best performance. Third down against La Tech, we were pretty good. And third down this week, we couldn't get them into third and long. It was always third and short. Special teams, we did onside kick 3 times. The first one was after a penalty, and Jack Fox actually, we called it in the middle, and Jack executed it perfectly. And the ball went 11 yards, and he fell on it, and actually got the second one. Houston Robert's feet, he had been knocked out of bounds, and he hadn't established back in bounds. So when he dove and got it, we did get that possession. And the third one, we were right there on top of it. It's a 50-50 ball. We just didn't come up with it. So It was good to see Jack execute those onside kicks. He had a great day. He didn't have he had a long 50, he had a 37-8 net, but he's an amazing what he can do kicking that football, putting and kicking. He's actually a great weapon to have here. So got a big game against Southern Miss. It's homecoming. They're playing for bowl eligibility. They're a good, solid football team. They're what you'd think a Southern Miss football team would be. They're extremely fast, very athletic on both sides of the football. And we have absolutely got to play our best and cut that turnovers out and, try to get a win at homecoming. We've played good around here at homecoming, and we need it to happen again this year. Any questions for me?
Could we expect to see a Miklo at quarterback for the remainder of the season?
Well, I don't know. You'd expect to see both. Miklo start this week. Going into last game, we actually had already planned to use both Miklo and Sam. The one thing we do not want to do is we pulled his red shirt. Miklo's is just completely wasted. We want to make sure he's getting reps and getting better because he is a talented young man and he deserves to play. And we'll do it, we're going to this game probably with a couple roles for Sam. We've got to continue to grow him up and continue to improve him. The only way to do that is game reps.
How much do you focus on getting turnovers from the defensive side in practice?
We go nutso at practice over it. We're stripping the balls. We have a goal every day at practice. 10 minutes a day. We work every punch drill. We work every interception drill, known to man. Sometimes we think maybe we ought to quit talking about it, and then maybe they'll come. But there's, like I said, Brian's an amazing defensive coordinator. He's he and I both, the defensive coaches, you're just almost dumbfounded that there's not a fumble at mesh point or, somewhere. It's going to be one game where all of a sudden we're going to get 6. It's coming, and we hope it's soon. But yeah, it's been a point of emphasis all season. That's one of those things. Usually, what you ask, you get. We just hadn't got them yet.
Can you talk a little bit about Aaron's growth and sort of maybe what that's added to the offensive production?
Yeah, Aaron. I think he leads. Chuck, correct me. Per receptions, #1 in the country. Per reception yard in FBS football. His growth has really been spectacular from the start of the season to where he is now, and he'll get up here in a minute and talk to you. Earlier in the year, Aaron was, if a route was supposed to be at 12, he was cutting it at 10, or he was cutting it at 14. So through his hard work and Coach Lynch, he's really become a very accurate route runner that he was not when this season started. He has always been, he's had this amazing ability to time his jumps, and he's also learned how to use the big body that he wasn't earlier in the year, like to turn on the fade ball and to go up and try to get his body squared on the ball and not try to catch everything over his shoulder. He's a work in progress, but he loves this game. And like I said, he's done some amazing things this year, but the best for Aaron's yet to come. And he's learning to block. Early in the year, he thought there was one reason he was here, correct? Yeah. He's learning to throw that big body in there now and get some blocks downfield.
Whether it be guys like Sam or an Aaron or guys that had stepped up because of an injury, can you talk about the freshman and sophomore classes more particularly?
Well, I think Austin Trammell is another freshman. Is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
That, every week improves. He's not one, we didn't know going into the season how much we'd play him. He's become a mainstay because of what we're having to do with Austin, where we are at the health situation at our running backs. We're down Ashton, Asupka. We can't keep Sam healthy. So we have Nashawn, and that's forced us to put Aston in that role, which forces Austin Trammell to play more at the slot. I think, it's another one. You go into the season where Austin's not getting a lot of the reps, and then just where we are now, he continues, every week to improve. You look at even in his making better decisions on punts, he's making better decisions, on kickoffs when to stay in the end zone. So we're all a work in progress, but at that age, there's just more work required.
Your
I-
Rice-
Go ahead.
Your Rice teams have historically done really well in the months of November and December. Do you have any explanation for why that is?
You know, it's just, I think a lot of times you get beat up early in the year and you start to get some guys back. You know, where we are right now, you know, hopefully we'll get some guys back this year. Which just, we start as a small squad, and then as we get people back, usually you get better in the month of November. And we're sure hoping that's what happens to us this month too, because we need to get some wins. You know, these guys come here to win. We all came here to win. Every coach, every player, you know, nobody likes losing. You know, and it's a tribute to these young men. They come over here with high energy every week, and Cephas will tell you, you know, he wants Coach Lynch to continue to coach him hard. I don't think there's been any quitting anybody. You know, there's pain after the game, you know, an emotional letdown, but when they come back over here, they're ready to go to work, try to get a win. You know, they're doing everything that we ask.
You see a lot more energy when Miklo came in the game, and it seemed like he hit some big plays and had those big runs.
Yeah, you know, he ran the zone read really well. There's a couple other times he, you know, could have kept it for some more yardage, but he's a very accurate passer, and he's good on his feet. You know, he was the MVP of his district as a quarterback 2 years in a row. He's very talented. He just, you know, he needs. Nobody's ever born great. You know, nobody ever just shows up at that position as a freshman's great. You know, Taylor McCord wasn't great as a freshman, but he was pretty good as a junior and a senior. And you got to stick with him with the growing pains. And, you know, we got two great young ones right now that are making some decisions. We all wish they didn't. But like I said, game reps is the best teacher. And, you know, they're learning some hard lessons. Whatever lesson they learn, they're not going to make it the next week.
Hey, Coach, he made a couple of moves on the field of moving defenders.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
He made a couple of moves on the field Saturday of moving defenders. He's a little deceptive with how good his feet actually are.
Yeah, I mean, he runs the ball like he's a running back, you know, when he takes off. And he's one, you know, when, like his touchdown run was a called pass. And they were in two-man, and he just tucked the ball. And, you know, he knows in that coverage that there's not going to be a second line of defense there. He saw an alley, and he just tucked it and ran. And those are the kind of decisions we need him to make.
Is there anything that you learned about him, seeing him, I guess, in extended game action?
You know, he's what we thought he would be against Army, you know. And, you know, fortunately since then, he's restored his confidence in his game. And, you know, after that game, it was hard on him. He's never had a game, you know, like that in his life. And through just his will, he's come over here and after about a week and really prepared and trained. And, you know, at practice, he's high energy. The week after the Army, he really wasn't. He was struggling. But he's not anymore. You know, his confidence has been restored. And the good news when he did throw the interception was how much he wanted to get back in there. You know, that he'd already put that behind him. And that's good to see. You know, sometimes you need to have a real short memory when things go bad and just learn to live in the present and not the past.
Do you have an injury update for Cole Thomas and Calvin Anderson?
Injury update, here we go. I tell you what, I would like to talk to Houston Robert. Had extended playing time Saturday for the first time this season. JT went out, I think he had 12 plays, and Houston filled in, really did a good job for him. Injury update right now, JT Ebay is doubtful. Cole Thomas is doubtful. Calvin Anderson is doubtful. Kenny Thomas is doubtful. Emmanuel Supka is out. Jordan Meyer is doubtful. Sam Stewart's questionable. We have to ask our trainer what doubtful and questionable is. Sam Stewart's questionable. Lance Wright is out. Trevor Long is probable. The good news on the next guys I'm going to read is they'll have redshirt years available. VJ Banks will redshirt. Blaine Padgett will redshirt. Carl Thompson will redshirt. Grayson Shantz would be able to apply for a 6-year because he missed his first year with a shoulder injury, so we're pretty confident he'll be able to have a 6-year. Trey Schumann will redshirt, so a lot of the guys we're missing, we played early, and they'll have a redshirt year available. And Corey Klingler will medically disqualify.
Did you know what exactly the injury was for Calvin and Cole? Is what was injured?
Calvin's is the leg injury and Cole's is hip.